Traders, welcome in this video. I wanted to go over my top setups for tomorrow. The market is really strong right now. S&P 500, it's been pushing new highs. We had FOMC today, 25 basis points was what was expected. So besides bouncing off of that 9-day moving average, there wasn't anything too crazy. Market closed up flat. It's been flat the last couple of days anyway. But growth stocks and small caps have been incredibly strong. And that's what we're focused on right now. We've done extremely well with trades like Open. AMPX has done extremely well recently. GoPro, I'm still waiting for a larger move on, but it's been really good for us as well. We've had so many consistent, really nice trades recently, and there are more, right? There's a lot of setups right now. So I wanted to go over some of my top setups for tomorrow. Let's start with Open. Actually, let's start with UMAC. We'll go in order. So UMAC, primarily on the weekly, is what interests me. And a few days ago, I would have quantified today as a breakout, but I actually would probably redraw that. And I think 1150 is the key level to get over. So 1150 would probably be my key level for UMAC. Also, we want to see stronger volume come in. I would probably trade this on the weekly time frame, give it a little bit more room, and therefore we reduce the risk of getting stopped out quickly. But UMAC, robotics, AI, it's kind of in the same family tree in terms of themes, and this chart is primed. As you could see, this reminds me of quantum names, right? We had this massive push last Q4, and then we saw this recovery, and we're seeing a base. So the quantum names have been moving similarly to this. Robotics are hot, and UMAC looks really good. So this is going to be one of the top names. Rocket Lab, I've been watching Rocket Lab for quite a while recently. It's a stock that we've traded several times over the last year and a half. It's been obviously one of the hottest stocks, if not the hottest stock out there. And it's been trying this 50 level, this 50 level. Tested it a few times, couldn't get through. And then it broke out. I didn't take that breakout, and I'm glad I didn't. It's back below it, so it was a failed breakout, but it's holding up and it's bouncing. It appears to be bouncing off of the 20 EMA here, so I think it can get another retest of the key level, and above that I would probably go for the trade there on the second breakout attempt on Rocket Lab. And also, guys, I am cautious of the seasonality. September, October, typically we have an increase in volatility from a seasonal standpoint, and I don't like to be too heavy and have too many positions around this time of the year. So if I'm taking a position, one, it may be smaller size. I might risk 0.5% instead of 1%. Secondly, I'm only taking the highest risk to reward opportunities. You know, trades that I'm like, okay, this is worth it in any condition, unless like the market's tanking, which obviously we're pretty much right off of all-time highs. But the point is, I'm only targeting trades that I can get really favorable risk to reward, meaning I can buy a lot of shares for that same flat rate risk, right? If I can't obtain a lot of shares to make the trade worth it, I'm not going to take the trade. So Rocket Lab and UMAC, I think both of them will offer the high risk reward opportunity, you know, favorable risk reward opportunity that I'm looking for. Affirm. So I traded Affirm on this gap up here. I saw it was up 3% after hours on the day it had earnings, which was this day. It was looking amazing on the chart, and it gapped up from, I think I picked it up at like 82 or something like that, and then it made a quick gap to like 100 at the peak. So that was a really nice trade. And now, right, it actually filled that gap, and then it's pushing back to this key resistance point here. So had strong earnings, and now it's built up a new structure. Obviously, this stock is doing extremely well. It's in the same theme as Robinhood. You know, the fintech theme has done pretty well recently, and Affirm is one of the leaders in that space, especially off of the back of good earnings. This is something that I would be interested in taking a trade on. Also, I forgot to add it onto my watch list. I need to add that on right now. Robinhood, because I was just talking about fintech, and I know Robinhood has a good setup. This is actually a really nice setup over. I'm going to set my alert right now, actually. So I think a little tricky, but I think 119, it's basically right on that breakout level. And if it, if the stock's right on the breakout level, this is going to give us a nice RR trade, most likely, unless it gaps up tomorrow, which I doubt it. So we could have a really good RR trade, meaning stop loss is going to be very close to our entry, meaning we're able to obtain a lot of shares for that same 1% or 0.5% of risk. So and by the way, if you don't know about risk management and position sizing, my next video is going to be about that. So stay tuned for that. So let's go to OUST. OUST is actually my favorite setup right now. This thing is a monster. So it's had this incredible move from $6 to, if you consider this the peak, 36. But this is the real structure I'm looking at here. And as you can see, it's tested this key like 31.5 level. One, broke out that time, but failed to break out. Rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. Once it gets through this level for good with strong volume, I think it goes to 40 very quickly. So I think $40 will come very quickly. And when you can have a tight stop loss from $32 to 40 is a really nice trade on something like this. Now, it's not going to be like a millionaire maker trade, or it's not going to, exponentially increase your account, but that's a really solid base hit trade that, is great. We can't go for a home run on every single trade. Also, 40 is a nice target price, but realistically, it has significant run room. So, an important thing to note throughout this process, I mentioned it's been rejecting, but throughout this process, it's making higher lows, right? Which tells us that buyers are accumulating this stock. When it pulls back, there are buyers facilitating this stock, and it is trending higher despite rejecting, right? So pulled back here, but since then, it's been putting in higher lows for the most part, which is going to increase the odds of the next breakout attempt actually working. Also, when we see stronger volume, that is going to do the same. It's going to increase the odds of the breakout actually working. Opendoor. So Opendoor was a trade I lost money on today, but first of all, in the Discord, I'm not writing it anymore, but I bought it at 2.5, alerted in the Discord, and there are still people in the Discord in this that haven't even sold anything. So it's been an incredible trade. I tried I took a trade on this today. I took it at 1050, and it was breaking out over this structure, and then the FOMC news dropped, and Opendoor wanted a 50 basis point cut. Obviously, it's an interest rate related trade. Being in the real estate sector, lower interest rates is obviously a huge boost, huge tailwind for the real estate market. So when the news of the 25 came out, it just triggered an algo sell, and it kind of just whipped me right out of it, and it stopped a lot of people out of it. You could see like instantly it just plummeted. So it's recovered since. These two candles here are really nice, actually. These two shadows show me that the stock is pretty strong, and it's going to go for another breakout of this. But the trade was pretty good, honestly. It was a good risk-reward trade. My entry was 1050, or it was a little above 1050, with a stop loss at 1020. So I was not risking a lot per share. And this stock has significant upside from here even, right? I can see this thing going to 15 still and getting crazy, possibly going to 20 plus. So considering it has all that upside, to have a stop loss of maybe 30 to 50 cents, that's a great RR trade. And that's a trade I'm willing to take again. So if it breaks out over the key level again tomorrow, I will take it. And obviously we don't have a news catalyst that can really, or you never know with a stock like this. There's a lot of pending news and pending events, but there isn't a market catalyst like FOMC that the stock is awaiting, particularly, that can just, kind of crash it instantly. But I was glad to have a stop loss. As I was saying, I was glad I had a stop loss because sometimes I use mental stops, and this one kind of just made a sharp move. So this is exactly one of the instances in which I would really want to have a stop loss actually set. So Wolf, this is the next one. The hourly looks nice. I'm always looking at a stock that makes a big move, pulls back, and then kind of tightens up somewhere. I don't know if I will actually trade a stock like this, or I don't know if I will trade this specifically, but it is interesting here, this tight action here after a huge move and a pullback. So I'll keep my eye on it, but I'm not going to elaborate on it too much. This stock right here, I didn't even think I was going to show this publicly because I think the potential here is insane. Okay, the optics of this are really what sold me. The company's called Robo.ai, right? I mean, robotics, really hot. AI is obviously AI. We already know about that. So the optics of it look extremely good. Recent IPO. So we have that increased volatility. We have an ADR of 22 here. So in 2 days, realistically, 2 big momentum days, this stock is doubling. And this setup right here is really nice. So as you can see, we have this structure here. My breakout level would probably at the moment be like 210, 211. The entry might come anywhere between 212 and like 215, depending on just how it trades once it begins to break out. This looks insane, right? We have higher lows and we have this key level of about 210, 211. Recent IPO. It has the name. It just has a lot going for it, right? I think this is a stock that can get this massive squeeze higher and just be like a really good penny stock for us to trade. So next one, AIRE. This is a stock that hit my momentum screener, and my momentum screener only has like 5-6 names at a time. Open was on that. That's how I found Open. This one was on that as well. Actually, I think Robo AI was on it as well. So, but AIRE is also on it. Made a huge move from 39 cents to a high of 179. It's pulled back a little bit and now it's consolidating. I don't have a set level where I'd want to enter this yet. Possibly a retest of these highs right here around 156. If it floats up and kind of consolidates its way into this level, that would be pretty good. But if it starts developing like in here, I might look for an entry somewhere around 140. So this stock is another one with a 22 ADR. So actually the last 2 stocks both have 22 ADRs. So they can make huge moves. This one's already made a huge move and this one hasn't, right? So, I mean, it's gone from a low of 122 to a high of 240. So obviously it has made a move, but it's not the same. It hasn't made a true breakout just yet. It's just a recent IPO. So they both look good though. QuantumScape. I traded QS earlier this year. It was a decent trade. And this structure is nice. Gaps up on a catalyst. It's pulled back. It's accumulated here. We're looking at the hourly here, so obviously shorter time frame, but it's accumulated. This looks pretty good. I would actually say the breakout on the hourly comes at 1050. I think 1050, over 1050 with some nice volume, that would be enough for me to take this stock. QMMM, I traded this stock today actually for a quick day trade, bought at 94, sold on average for 105, so it wasn't anything crazy, it was just 10 points. But the setup is actually really good still. And if we go to the daily time frame, you can see this thing has the potential to kind of squeeze out. I don't know where the limit, where the ceiling is. I'm not sure if it could actually get above the prior highs of 300. This is just a short squeeze play. So I think a lot of short sellers have kind of exited and capitulated on this one, and they're probably not looking to re-attempt, or they're looking to take another swing at a short here. I don't think they would be willing to do that, so maybe it just doesn't have that kind of upside. But anyway, it's a pretty compelling chart. It hasn't dropped below, didn't drop below a certain number, and didn't drop below a certain number, so it's held strong there. And then we have, key level for this is probably around 115 around. So dropping down to the hourly time frame will give us a better kind of picture of it. And I would say, 115 is that key level. And the low is, So, lows look in, and this stock, has a great setup technically. So The company is probably not worth a fraction of what it currently trades at, but I wouldn't really want to swing this for too many days. Let's just put it that way. SoundHound AI. I actually think the fundamentals are improving on this one, so that's always a good thing. AI stock with improving fundamentals, that's good. And I think the breakout here comes over 1550. So 1550 with some volume, that would be my trigger. And it could easily do that tomorrow with a high risk or with a favorable risk reward trade. So this is something that I would totally consider trading. And yeah, I think the upside is pretty good on this. Nice base hit, maybe 1920 can come pretty quickly. So I like that. And we already spoke about Robinhood. So that concludes the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like the live. Also, Discord is in the description. We alert all the trades there. There's tons of education, community, tools designed to help give an edge. So thank you guys for watching, and peace.